Rassie Erasmus was asked about Matt Williams. Now, of course, there's a history going on here. We all know the history. Matt Williams said a lot of the stuff. The 7-1 bench was not in the spirit of the game. He gave Rassie a lot of stick for that. Rassie hit him back on a couple of times on Twitter and pointed to his record, which is really bad as an international coach. I think he won 2 games out of 15 as Scotland coach when he was still Scotland coach. But he's been a very vocal critic of Rassie Erasmus, and I know the Boks don't enjoy him at all, to be very honest. And he sort of made his name as a bit of a troll. He's a bit of clickbait for a lot of people. Now, this week he was on my mate Martin Devlin's podcast there in New Zealand, and with Lachlan, who's standing in for Martin while he was in Europe. And was quite complimentary about the Boks. So let's watch that clip quickly, and you can see what he said about the Springboks back then.
And until we can get some parity and people come to games not knowing who's going to win, that'll be the case. If we've just got only 2 teams that can win the championship, it's boring. I know it's great for New Zealanders and South Africans, but we've got to do, for the game, we've got to do better than that. And I think this championship's really delivered that. It's been fabulous rugby. And I think the greatest, how do I say it, the greatest change and the real evolution and growth in the game, which is hugely positive, is the way the South Africans are playing. Like the 7-1 bench has quietly died. Thank God. No one went to a wake and no one's saying, isn't that sad? And they played some absolutely extraordinary rugby and unleashed the talent of the athleticism that we all know is in these South African players. And unfortunately, New Zealand saw that the other week. Now, in the short term, obviously, I understand where everyone in New Zealand is hurting when New Zealand friends are just mortified. I get it. But in the long run, I think that's going to be great for the game. And the New Zealanders will respond, And as an Australian, unfortunately, going to Eden Park, we haven't won since 1986. My generation of players, Steve Timon and Brett Papworth, David Campuzzi, those guys, I was club mates of Steve and Brett when they won it. And, it's been since then. And I'll say, well, there's going to be a bit of a backlash here. And
this was, of course, after their win over the All Blacks in Wellington, quite an impressive win, etc. But then we got to the team announcement, and of course, one of the things that happens at the team announcement, we only allowed to tape about 10 minutes of the press conference on video, but I do have the audio of the rest of it, and then this part what happened in the audio section when we went to that tape video. So yeah, I'm going to give you. Rassie was asked about Matt Williams' comments by a journalist over there, and he looked a bit irritated by the question, and he didn't really want to. And his media manager said to him, "You don't have to answer if you don't have to," but he decided to take it and answer it. So yeah, was his answer, and it's quite clear that he's not a big fan of Matt Williams. So just for what it is, this is his answer. I don't think there's too much more to this. I think if I was Rassie, I'd probably be quite irritated anyway at just the constant sort of thing. What do you think about Matt Williams? Because he is rather somebody who makes a lot of noise, and from a South African point of view, that's all it is. He's a bit of a troll.
Coach Rassie, Matt Williams recently came out and spoke about the fact that he's happy to see that the 7-1 split has sort of died following your performances against the All Blacks and stuff. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Has the 7-1 split died? Are we ever going to see the 7-1 split again? Because he says it was against the spirits of rugby.
You shared his record on Twitter.
You don't have to answer if you don't know the answer.
No, he doesn't really in our team. I don't think any of our players or our management take him serious. With all respect, he's an elderly person, and he's been around the block, and I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of respect for him. But how we see him, they use him as clickbait. And if that's what he wants to do. I mean, we don't comment on other teams, what their team selection is like and how they play and how they should combine their teams. And I know he's an Ireland, but he's Australian, so does he represent the way Australia think or Ireland think, so we hear it, but we laugh at it.
So there you have it, Rassie not deflecting the question quite quickly, and understandably, I think it's it's a sideshow. It's certainly one of those that the Springboks have got a task this week. They're going to beat Argentina. They want to retain their rugby championship title. I think there's no comparison when you compare the two records of the two men. And really, I mean, there's a lot of noise coming from Matt Williams all the time. So let me know what you think, what you thought of Rassie's answer, and am I wrong to make this video? I didn't ask the question. I just thought it might be interesting to you guys. Let me know. It'd just be interesting to see. I certainly don't think it's a bigger issue than it is. I just thought it was quite funny. And I think the Boks are quite tired of these sort of questions anyway. And I understand it. I understand it very well. Anyway, but let me know. And also, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. Put the thumbs up if you can. It helps us with the algorithm. And of course, if you want to get notifications of new videos, there's that bell thing that if you click on that, you'll get notifications of all the new videos. But anyway, until next time, we'll chat soon. Cheers.